Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to wait for about 30 seconds to a minute just to make sure that everyone is able to join before we start our presentation. So please bear with us. We'll just wait for about a minute, then we'll start our presentation. Thank you. Okay, I think that's enough time. Hopefully, everyone has managed to join us. Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today for our Tridge webinar for this month entitled Ensuring Food Compliance Preparing for New Market Entry. I'm going to be your host for today. My name is Mzingayan Dubiwa, and I'm joining you here from South Africa. And we have quite an esteemed panel of guests and some quite informative and experienced um, presenters that are going to be joining us for today. So we'll begin by giving a brief um, definition about Tridge. And Tridge, basically, we are a global trade ecosystem in the food and agriculture industry dedicated to fostering a safe and reliable trade community by combining professional networks with advanced data intelligence. And we aim to become the premier destination for sourcing solutions by connecting buyers and suppliers worldwide, empowering a future of equity, resilience, and sustainability. So basically, our services they have four main branches. So we have the data and analytics branch. So that's where we have like production, export, import, and price data as well. And then we also have the side of our services where we focus on insights. So we're basically leveraging our data and analytics to provide you with actionable, insights for you to be able to make decisions. Then we have our trade solution, which is a B2B marketplace. And then we also have our fulfillment solution where we basically leverage our global network. So that's four main branches. So for today's presentation, we will send you a certificate of participation, for all those that have filled our survey. So that will come to you within three business days after the webinar. Okay, so today our program is as follows. So we do have two presenters that will be joining us today. And for the first presentation, it will be split into two sections. The first section will cover global trends in food safety and compliance, and then followed by that, challenges and opportunities in meeting regional retail requirements. After this, we will go to our special presentation from Maria, who is joining us from Drina, and she's going to have a special presentation for us there. We will then go on to our panel discussion where we will answer three questions from our panelists, and then finally we will go to our Q&A section where we will answer questions that will be posed by you in our audience, and we will do our best to answer as many of those questions as possible. So please kindly type in your questions during the presentation and also during the panel discussion. Make sure your questions are concise to the point and are relevant to the current presentation. And the questions that we fail to answer, we will answer them via email within 3 business days. So, as I said earlier, my name is Mzingayan Dubiwa, and I'm a global market analyst from based here in South Africa. Been working at Tridge for about 7 years now. And joining me today, very pleased to introduce my two presenters, all coming from Serbia. The first one is my brother from another mother. Been working with him for so long. We were basically family at this point. So that's Bojan Mijatovic from Serbia. Then we have Maria Slovic, who's joining us as well as our guest presenter. Bojan, could you please introduce yourself briefly, and Maria, you can follow him.
Thank you, MZ. Thank you for the kind words. Like MZ said, I'm his brother, Bojan Mijatovic, a global market analyst here at Tridge. My specialty are fruits and vegetables, like raw commodities, but recently we have covered also the retail products, processed products. Maria, on to you.
Hello to everyone. My name is Maria Slovic. Based on my 20 years of experience, I become food safety expert, and today I'm in that role. And later during my presentation, I will give a further introduction of myself.
Okay, thank you so much. And then now we move on to our panelists. So we have two main panelists. So we have Kevin Lopez from Colombia and Emad Fati from Egypt. Please kindly introduce yourself, Kevin, and Emad, you can follow after.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here. My name is Kevin Lopez. I've been in Tridge live already for years, playing different roles from fulfillment to market intelligence. So I know very well what is the Tridge ecosystem. And well, today topic is very important to me, and I've been experienced this in my career, not also in Tridge, but across my career. So I'm very excited to be here.
Hello everyone, my name is Imad Fatri. I am from Egypt. I work for Tridge for about 4 years, about the fulfillment team for vegetable and fruit and grain. I have a PhD in science microbiology, and I am responsible about Tridge work here in Egypt. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin and Emad. So as you can see, we have quite a well-rounded panel for you from different parts of the world. We'll now move on to our first presentation that will be handled by Bojan. Bojan, please go ahead.
Thanks, MZ. Welcome everyone. Today we will cover various topics around food quality standards as well as trade compliance. We will first start with the global food safety landscape. Ensuring food compliance is really overwhelming. So global trends are constantly changing, and so is the food compliance sector. Food safety is vital for sustainable agri-food systems and meeting the UN goals. This is a shared responsibility, and the landscape is constantly changing due to global drivers, leading for stricter rules. And also the new modern technologies like digital tools are becoming more and more important for the food safety compliance. And also the recent developments like the tariff changes impacting not directly related to quality standards, but they are related to trade, which then implements other trade sides. In the next slide, I have pointed out several key frameworks which underpin the global food safety. This will cover in more detail from Maria and our panel discussion speakers. Briefly, HACCP focused on preventing hazards. ISO 22000 provides a comprehensive management system, while the GFSI benchmark standards like BSCGS and IFS for global consistency. And finally, SQF helps harmonize these standards by reducing audit burdens. Like I said before, the navigating through compliance standards is really comprehensive, and the major retailers also set specific standards beyond regulations, often requiring GFSI schemes plus extra like sustainability audits. Meeting these diverse and evolving requirements is challenging, both for suppliers and buyers due to costs and complexity. Maria, once again, and the panel discussion speakers will explore this further due to our limited time availability. So what will I bring more attention to this? This is an actual trending topic, the 2025 tariff updates. This is a major factor now, which is shifting trade policy, especially new tariffs like those recently implemented by the US government. The situation is constantly changing, and this impacts compliance in indirect way as costs significantly increase, hitting manufacturers with higher ingredient prices and export duties. Smaller economies often feel this disproportionately. We follow on this topic constantly, which can be seen on our platform through our opinions from MZ and my other fellow colleagues. And the example from MZ and myself is the US beef industry, already facing tight supply with tariff worsening this trend on impacting higher prices, which creates market uncertainty. This affects trade flows and also export competitiveness due to retaliation like the China's. And even integrated supply chains with partners like Canada and Mexico are hurting. So consumers face higher prices, and with the similar dynamics hit the other, like the nut sector in the US, which we also covered, forcing strategic shifts. How do the buyers and suppliers navigate this? Businesses must reassess supply chains, explore alternative sourcing, and understand tariff liabilities precisely, and seek exclusions where possible. So these policies add significant cost, risk, and complexity. How can Tridge help in this situation? Tridge can help by effectively providing data with our platform, providing real-time trade data, market intelligence, and on tariff impacts and supplier connections. This empowers businesses to analyze impacts, find alternatives, and adapt strategically. Now, let's look at challenges and opportunities in meeting regional retail requirements. So traceability, we covered this topic in our previous webinars. Its impact on the development of technology and sustainability as well. So traceability is fundamental. It's enabling tracking from farm to consumer, and this needs lot coding, good records, supplier verification, and recall plans. So tech like blockchain, Internet of Things, and AI are boosting transparency. And we will develop more this in the panel discussion as well with Ahmad, Kevin, and also with Maria. So regarding the compliance for new markets, this is something that Tridge is not directly involved in the quality standards, but its requirements from the Tridge sides are clearly stated in our documents, what we ask from the buyers and what we ask from suppliers. So entering new markets demands a sharp compliance strategy, especially now with complex regulation, geopolitics, and ESG demands. So these are the steps. First, the pre-entry assessment. Businesses need to analyze the target market-specific regulations and benchmark against competitor compliance, like the JFEC certifications, and identify retailer-specific demands. Again, market intelligence like that from Tridge is key here to get the needed information. So, also documentation, compile necessary registration dossiers, and secure essential health certificates and then attestations. Adapt technical specification as needed. Tridge agreements help define this clearly. Local partnership, for example, Tridge fulfillment team like Ahmad and Kevin offer local assistance in compiling necessary documentation and partnership with authorities, local authorities, and also with the importers and distributors. And finally, the adaptation. Businesses must be ready to reformulate products, modify labeling and packaging for local rules and sustainability trends. and align your supply chains with required certification, whether it's the GFSI, organic, etc. On the next slide, I mentioned packaging and labeling in the previous slide, but here accurate labeling is vital. It varies globally. Core elements are usually mandatory, like the position of the name of the company or the net weight, etc. But specifics differ across regions like the EU, US, and Asia. Key considerations for market entry include language, origin declaration, nutritional formats, and rules around health claims. And what does it roadmap to new market entry looks like? First of all, it needs a structured approach. First step, market research. Understand regulations, trade impacts, and competitor standards. Secondly, gap analysis. Maria will also cover the gap analysis as well. So you need to identify where you fall short on certification, specs, and documents. Third step is the compliance strategy. Develop a specific roadmap, plan partnership, and outline adaptations. After that, we need to implement that. In implementation, you get certified, modify products labels if needed, and train your team for a set of new rules and regulations. Finally, we have entered the market, but now we need to continue monitoring and continue track regulatory changes and improve compliance. And finally, what's Tridge's global role? Tridge directly addresses the critical issue of information asymmetry in the agri-food supply chain. How does Tridge do this? Through detailed importer analysis to find buyers and understand their purchasing, and via export analysis for competitive insight for market entry. Tridge then uses case analysis for a granular transaction data, who, what, when, and how much. By providing this transparency in data, Tridge overcomes inefficiencies and mistrust and empowers businesses with informed decisions for a fair, more efficient global sector. This concludes my overview, and basically we could talk more about this topic, but right now I need to provide Maria some space. MZ, on to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Boyan. Really appreciate it. You spoke about a lot of important topics right now, especially when you are dealing with the issue of traceability, which is now a concern, with the EUDR, and products like coffee and cocoa are very affected. So that's something that's very interesting. And I'm sure Maria is going to expand a lot more on that. Maria, please go ahead with your presentation.
Okay, hello again, once again. Just to see, my presentation is, I cannot control it. Please, can you help me?
Okay, sure. No.
Do you see my presentation?
Yes, your presentation is live. You can go ahead.
Okay, yes. So a few words about myself, why I am part of this webinar. Based on my education, I'm a food technologist. I graduated on the Faculty of Agriculture in Belgrade, on Department for Animal Origin Products. So basically meat, milk, honey, and eggs. How I become food technologist? It is because I was born in the family that produces food. So from my childhood, I was involved in food industry. In 2008, I established dairy production. Today, we produce Serbian traditional product, cheese and kajmak. And parallel with that, from 2009, I become food safety expert. First, it was HACCP certification, then ISO certification, and today I'm the lead auditor for many GFSI standards. Also, I'm auditor for many retailers. And based on these 20 years of experience, I can say that I become a food safety expert. Today, I'm representative of the DRINA SIF DO. It is a consulting company that provides consulting services to the food business operators, not only in the field of food and in many other industries, but today topic is the food. So I will present what Adrina does today in food industry. Okay, something is slow, but we will see at the next slide. So Drina's team consists of an international group of business people with rich experience in working at different operational and managerial levels and in different industrial fields: standardization, certification, sales, marketing, product, and management. So many services, but my focus will be on the food, as I said before. Okay, so we provide services related to internal audits, supplier audits, gap analysis, management system, benchmarking, then regulatory compliance, corporate compliance, and process and product design. We are present in many industries, but as I mentioned before, it will be focused today for food and agriculture. Okay, so as you all know that today food supply chain is very complex and includes many different food business operators, retailers, brokers, logistics services. So there were need that a lot of different standards developed during previous 20 or 30 years. Basically everything began with HACCP and GMP. This is something that is regulatory required, and this is something that is basic for every food business operators. Then we have in agricultural production global gap with GRASP, and in processing industry nowadays we have developed many new standards like FSSC, IFS, BRC. Together those standards are part of GFSI initiative, and it depends on different topics. You as a food business operator, can decide what kind of certification you need. Okay, so what is the difference between HACCP, ISO standards, and GFSI? So as I said, HACCP and GMP are basic. So that is something that is focused on controlling critical points in the process to prevent food safety hazards. Then in ISO certification, there is combination of management and this HACCP requirements. And nowadays we have the most complicated and most precious standards that is part of GFSI initiative. So those standards are like BRC, IFS, FSSC. Those standards the requirements of those standards goes beyond the principles of the HACCP, covering areas like food quality, regulatory compliance, traceability, product recall protocols. Also, main focus is customer requirement, customer specification. Those standards has zero tolerance to infrastructure problems and requires of the companies to have continual improvements. So it depends on the stage on which your company is developed. Based on your business goals, you will make decision what kind of certification you will provide. Also depends if you have any customer requirement. Sometimes maybe you have a customer, not only retailers, then regular customer, other food business operator who can request from you to be certified. Mostly it is because of their own certification. Also, there is some regulatory environment that you need to decide what kind of certification you need. That those regulatory environment is something like there is public tenders that some of the requests is HACCP or ISO standard or GFSI standard. So if you are a small business operators, then HACCP may be sufficient for you. But if you're a larger organization aiming to demonstrate a commitment to the highest level of food safety, or if you're looking to export to markets where GFSI's recognized certification are required, then GFSI may be better fit for you. So you need to make decision based on the few topics and mostly based on the customer requirement or market requirements where you want to export your goods. I will say something today about GFSI standards and some deeply about two of them, BRC and IFS. So GFSI is Global Food Safety Initiative. It's a regulatory body that covers many of different standards. You can see on the slide what kind of standards. So Global GAP, SQF, FSSC, BRC, IFS are the most popular. Also some other market like Canada GAP or Asia GAP, so it depends on which market you want to export. So how this initiative was organized and why? So those standards are private standards. It was created by retailers and they were established after ISO standardization. So they have decided to create additional set of rules for production of food business operators in order to establish a supply chain trust. So as you all know, there is one statement of World Health Organization that 60 million people each year fall ill after eating contaminated food. It's almost 1 in 10. And this supply chain trust must be established. And one of the steps is certification. GFSI initiative was established by Consumer Goods Forum together with food retailers and manufacturers. Okay, one of the biggest market share is IFS certification. So the main topic of IFS is to deliver the trusted product. IFS was designed and developed by German retailers like Lidl, Rewe, Metro Cash and Carry. Those retailers gathered the food safety specialists and then together they establish new rules in IFS standards. So basically IFS is focused on German market in countries where German influence is big, and also whole European Union recognize IFS certification. So the focus of this certification is product, process, and packaging, not just the management system, and not just the basic hazards for food. IFS covers food, logistic, broker, cash and carry, then packaging industry, also consumer products. Product industry. So there is a different type of certification, depends on what kind of market or what kind of industry you belong to. Those are some figures, what kind of, how many standards. So there is six standards, and there is also 4 programs for starting certification. So there is also possibility not only to go directly into standardization, then there is a progress program that help you to improve each year to become certified. There is 102,250 auditors worldwide, and 2,000 plus retailers working with IFS. There is different certification bodies worldwide that can provide this type of services. Then the next big standard is BRC. It is a British standard. So in the countries where British influence is big, and also in the UK, if you export your goods to those countries, then you will seek for BRC certification. Also, USA market is mostly recognized BRC standard. As IFS, there is also different schemes for these different type of industries. A good thing here is also that there is BRC start. This is the small amount of requirements that you can use it to introduce your company in the certification process, and easy to implement. And during some period to develop to BRC certification, broker, food, logistic, also gluten-free and many others schemes in BRC. So as I mentioned before, if you export to North America or UK, then you will need to seek to BRC. The next slide will be something about figures. It will be short introduction, what market share covers which standard. So it will be easier for you to decide what you need. It's a bit slow, but we okay. So you see that here is 47% of the food certification is IFS. Then there is a BRC, and at the end FSSC. But in recent years, FSSC is growing. So we will see. For example, Lidl is Lidl, Metro Cash and Carry, Kaufland. They all are seeking or mandatory IFS. Then some British retailers ask for BRC, and FSCC is something that is okay for both of them, but depends on your customer requirement. Also, FSCC certification is every 3 years, and IFS and BRC is once per year. So you here on this slide, you can see based on the countries, what kind of standards are important in each country. So you see in Germany, mostly it's IFS. Then let me see in Italy, BRC is half of the total certification. So you see in Europe, mostly is IFS. Okay, what Gina can do for you, we can provide gap assessment, documentation and system setup, training programs, mock audits and internal audits, private label support, also corrective action and follow-up. So for you as a company, as a food business operator, you should use this certification tool to improve your process, to improve your quality department, to be able to demonstrate the best performance during supplier assessment. Okay, this is some contact page. So if you need any help, be free to ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Maria. That was a very insightful presentation, and I think it was very useful. You know, one of the main questions that we get from especially suppliers that are trying to enter new markets is always about what standards, you know, what type of certifications they need to focus on. So it was good you gave a breakdown regarding the different markets and what they should look into when focusing on those different markets. So just a note for everyone, the Maria's presentation will also be sent to you along with the main presentation within 3 business days. So you'll be able to take a look at what she was sharing in terms of facts and figures, all the information that you were looking into as she was presenting. Thank you so much, Maria. We really appreciate it. Okay, then now we're going to move to our panel discussion. So we have 3 main questions that we're going to answer. And our first question today is, how do HACCP, ISO 22000, and GFSI differ in their approach to food safety? And how can suppliers determine which standard is most relevant for their operations? Kevin, we're going to ask you to tackle this one for us first. Please go ahead.
Thank you, MC. Well, I think I'm going in the same mainstream of Maria as she explained. So let me start by saying, when we talk about food safety certifications in Colombia and across Latin America, it's important to think beyond just ticking boxes or labeling boxes. The standard you choose influences a lot, not just compliance, but also how your business is perceived in the international markets by international buyers. So let's break it down with the three certifications we are talking about. HACCP is the, let's say, it's the base layer. It's preventive, not reactive. You map out all the potential hazards in your process and build controls to eliminate or reduce them, reduce risk. Most companies start here, especially when entering formal markets or meeting local regulations. So, in Colombia, it's common among medium sized processors or exporters working under national or basic international requirements. And it's also often a must for US compliance, especially under the FISMA food safety system. Then the ISO 22000 is built on HACCP, but it goes, let's say, deeper. It turns on hazard control into a full body safety management system. And that means a stronger documentation, internal audits, communication protocols, and continuous improvement processes within the company. This is ideal for business looking to elevate their professionalism and show international buyers that food safety is part of the company culture. And now, as Maria just explained, we got the GFSI. It's where things get more global. At this point, it's not just a standard itself; it's benchmarking system that recognizes robust certification programs like BRC, and these exchanges meet a very strict international criteria. Getting GFSI recognized by a company signals to major buyers that you meet the highest level of safety and traceability within your organization. In other words, if you're looking to breaking into global retail chains, or very large importers, GFSI becomes almost non-negotiable and becomes really essential. So the question, how can companies pick the right one? So simply ask yourself, where's your business today, and where are you going? If you're early in the business in your food safety, is pretty simple. Just by the time being, start just with HACCP. But if you're trying to escalate in building up a business and want to be more professional, ISO 22000 gives you a global system. But if you are targeting more demanding international buyers, or you want to break into the big retail chains across the world, just start doing GFSI certification and implementation. But also, it's important to be strategic. I think I've worked with Colombian packers who jump into GFSI too early and then they burned out because the system wasn't ready. And it's smarter to build capacity step by step and aligning your business goal with your certification capabilities, just to grow in a smarter way. So in the end, the right standard isn't just about compliance. It's just a simple business tool that helps you build your business to improve. And when you choose the right one, it doesn't just open doors; it helps you walk through them with a high level of confidence.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate that answer. Ahmad, do you want to add on to what he said? Hello, Ahmad. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Go ahead.
As in Egypt, we are producing many product like manufacturing, like dairy, confectionery, and different product for food. and also for agribusiness sector, we have a different back house for citrus, strawberry, mandarin, and the different product. So most of the back house and the manufacturing now start using and implementing this new certificate like الحاسب, as Kevin and Maria mentioned. The HACCP is the basics for the GMP and GHP, which are abbreviation for good manufacturing brackets and the good hygienic brackets, which build the hygiene and sanitation program for the factory to ensure that the products are safe from any hazard or any foodborne diseases. Because of that, I try to make integration between the ISO 9001 and HACCP system and make integration in one standard, which is called ISO 22000, which make integration between the HACCP and the quality management system, documentation management system, and all the from identify CCB point, what is the hazard analysis, and also needed to be monitoring and identify the CCB point. So he make a control for it to ensure that there is no hazard or risk which affect the human health. On the other side, as you know, as Kevin and Maria mentioned, now there is a global food safety initiative which created at 2000 to put all the to find all the benchmark and solution to reduce food safety rates and audit duplication and the cost while building the trust. So each company, each organization need to choose what is suitable for them. Like if it's agribusiness, it will choose the BRC and global gap if it have a farm. If it's a manufacturing for bakery or dairy product, they choose the HACCP and BRC or HACCP and ISO 22000. So it depends on the type of industry. They choose the certificate which suitable for their work. But generally, the aim of this global food safety initiative is to reduce the application of food safety audit, save global supply chain, cost effectively in supply chain, increase the ability to produce safe food, decrease the product recall or foodborne diseases, improve the consumer satisfying, gain better access to the market, raise employee awareness and the knowledge about food safety. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Really appreciate it. Okay, so now we'll move on to our next question. Okay, so the second question, how can technology such as blockchain and IoT enhance traceability and transparency in the food supply chain? Ahmed, you can just continue from there.
Okay. Generally, as you know, the agriculture intensify and international product trade expand in different countries. Now, agricultural product move from a remote area to all around the world to find a various market located far away from their origin. So the consumer now have become generally unsure about the food safety and the quality and the origin of this product, and he need to gain more information about the sourcing and the quality and the food safety for this product to come from different country. Because of that, there is a new technology. It's called blockchain and IoT. Blockchain, it is abbreviation block and the chain. Block it means manufacturing the product, and the chain it is started from manufacturing product until receiving by the customer. So it need to monitoring the product from receiving the raw material until the consumer use it. On the other hand, IoT it is the abbreviation for Internet of Things, which meaning using digital technology or utility or such as utility or device for the optimization of the internal process in agriculture or food sector. So Blockchain and IoT provide a resource to solve the problem of food traceability and enable the technician and the producer to use it and to monitoring the flow, the data flow for the product to follow the process flow chart, started from receiving the raw material until packaging the final product until reach the customer. So it is an integration system, integration solution to monitoring this process. The aim of the blockchain or IoT is to give a trust, give a trace, give a transparency for the consumer that he can know the origin of this, the source of this raw material, from where it come, what is the temperature for this final product, how it transferred to the consumer, how it is stored, to give a trust and transparent result to our consumer. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Kevin, do you want to go ahead?
Sure, MC. Well, from what I see and my perspective in the industry, technology is changing how we manage food safety, especially when it comes to traceability and trust between buyer and seller. Two of the most game-changing tools, as also I had mentioned, are IoT and blockchain. So let's start with IoT, which I think is the most used nowadays. Um, IoT operates like in the food industry via sensors or connected devices to collect real-time data. For example, temperature sensors or data loggers on shipping containers or GPS trackers on trucks. In Colombia or South America, I've seen exporters of perishable fruits like bananas or avocados using IoT to monitor cold chain performance. If there's a problem like a temperature spike during the inland transportation, they get notified immediately. That means that they can act fast instead of waiting for a customer complain or claim 2 weeks later or when the cargo arrives at destination. So that's not just about traceability, it's about operational control and operational responsiveness. Now, the use of blockchain. Blockchain is adding blockchain to the equation. Blockchain is a digital ledger that records every step in the supply chain. So once when it's logged, it can be changed. So if a grower harvests, for example, if a grower harvests on a certain date or a packer seals a pallet, that info goes through the chain. It creates transparency and accountability of every party within the supply chain at the end of the day. So this is huge for buyers who want to verify origin, food safety checks, or handling conditions of the cargo across the chain, as I said. So the real power is when these two technologies work together. IoT generates reliable and real-time data, and blockchain locks it in. So this creates an unbroken, verifiable chain of custody for buyer and seller. For example, a buyer in Europe or North America can scan a QR code and see the product's extended full journey. So this level of traceability builds trust and shows your clients that you are serious about quality and transparency. Are there any challenges using IoT or blockchain? Of course, for example, cost, internet connectivity, staff training, but but the direction of the industry it's quite clear for me. Markets are moving toward full visibility, and buyers are starting to expect this level of traceability just as a baseline, as a bare minimum, and not as a bonus with shippers or exporters. So for exporters and food producers in LATAM, Adopting these technologies isn't just about compliance, it's about differentiation in the market. It's basically how you show your product and how your process are trustworthy and ready for premium markets and bigger clients as well. In this case, as we are speaking about the big retailers in Europe, North America, or wherever in the world.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate the answer. Maria, is there anything you want to add on this subject of technology?
No, I think that colleagues cover it all.
Okay, no problem. You can go ahead.
Maybe only one thing about first question. So you can decide to have multiple certification. It's not, only HACCP or only GFSI. If you need it, you can do both or something like that. So it's not only, that is exclusively only one. You can combine.
Okay, thank you.
If you need it.
Okay, noted. Thank you so much, Maria. Really appreciate it. Let's just go to the last question. So, what emerging trends or innovations are shaping the future of food safety and compliance? Maria, do you want to try and answer this one first? Hello, Maria. Did you?
I have, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Maybe someone else can answer because I wasn't aware of this question. So
Okay,
sorry.
no, it's fine. No problem. Emma, please go ahead.
Okay. As you know, from now for the new product development and the new innovation and the trend, now the food company try to invest a research and development to develop a new innovation packaging material and new innovation solution to extend shelf life and maintain the food quality while minimize the risk of contamination, like innovate a new polyethylene packaging material, transfer from polyethylene to a new sustainable packaging material, which enable sustainable the product and storage it for long time shelf life. Also, there is an innovation and the trend in agricultural practices, such as shift toward the more sustainable and environmental chemical pesticide and fertilizer to enhance the food safety and also the trend of education and the training program will be expanded to raise awareness among the farmer and the food handler and the consumer. Also, the collaboration between the governmental and industrial and the international organization to address the global food safety initiative such as FAO and UNIDO and the WTO and the ITC. It's making different program and different country to enhance awareness and the knowledge about the food safety and what is needed for the different market. One of the other issue is continuous monitoring and surveillance for the system to be aware, update about what is a new version for the different standard like BRC, like FSC, like HACCP certificate. So it need from the manufacturing to be aware about the new version and what is the new change in the clauses for the standard to be aware about the update version. Also, the increasing awareness of foodborne illness diseases and what about the label regulation and the standard. What is the technology advances such as blockchain and IoT to find a way to track the product from farm to port, and also to embed the consumer to be more empowered about the choice, what is the food to buy, and they also gain the access to the detailed information about the origin, handling, and the food safety measure. So generally, we can conclude it in using IoT and the blockchain, using artificial intelligence, using the machine learning and the algorithm technology, using the computer vision, rapid fast test method to identify if any microbial contamination on the line or not, and also the new packaging material. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much.
I can add
Sure,
two
sure. Go ahead.
sentences.
Go ahead.
Okay, so nowadays, in previous history, we had food business operators who had their own brand, Nestle and everything else. Nowadays, worldwide, there is in business world, the companies established only to produce private labels. So they will not develop their own brands. They will work only for private labels. So me as an auditor has increased requests from auditing days. So everything will be covered with this kind of certification and this supply chain trust. Also, the second thing is novel food, 3D printing food or laboratory meat food and so on. So all novel food will for sure change the shape of food safety and compliance.
Thank you so much, Maria. I appreciate it. Kevin, would you like to close us off on this question, please?
For sure, for sure. Well, trying to moving fast with the webinar. For me, food safety landscape is in a global scape is evolving quite fast, and it's being shaped by innovation, understanding the point we are in the global trends as well. So let me share the three key trends that I've identified that are really impacting the food safety manners and practices within Colombia, especially, and the wider region as well. Firstly, predictive analytics and artificial intelligence. We are moving from reactive systems to predictive ones. AI tools are helping companies forecast risks before problems happen. Just basically, just basic as that. Imagine being able just to predict shelf life based on weather during harvest, or flagging which fruit batch can fail during a quality test based on their historic supplier data, and that's pretty powerful. It helps reduce weight, prevent rejections, and have a clear understanding from buyer and supplier. It also helps managing compliance proactively, not just doing third-party audits, which is the common thing, and Maria probably knows it. The digitalization of as well in second place, the digitalization of compliance systems. The days of paper checklists and disconnected spreadsheets are just fading and getting left behind. I think now we have platforms that centralize everything: audit logs, SOPs, traceability records, or certifications, all in one digital dashboard or place. And for companies handling multiple certifications that big markets or target markets requires oftentimes, like HACCP or Global Gap as an entry key for the European markets. This saves time and reducing errors. So it also makes it easier to respond to buyer inquiries or regulatory checks without scrambling through documents, which is a tedious task. And on a third place, consumer-facing transparency. Today's consumer wants to know where their food came from and how it was handled. We are seeing more QR codes, as I said before, on packaging that link directly to the product's journey. And this isn't just marketing, it's compliance and branding in just one place. If you can show a clean supply chain, it becomes not only traceability, a key traceability feature, but it also becomes a selling point in international markets or big retailers' requirements. All these trends point out to the same thing. Food safety is going more digital, smarter, and more strategic. It's no longer about just passing audits. It's about using innovation to gain an edge, whether it is accessing new markets efficiently, reducing risk, or just building a stronger relationship with buyers. For companies, especially in LATAM, this is a chance to lead. These tools are more accessible than ever, and the early adopters are really reaping now the benefits. From fewer rejections or claims from buyers to better export contracts with big retailers. So, just to wrap it up, the future of food safety it's data driven, tech power, and trust focused.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate that. Thank you also, Emad, for your contribution in the panel discussion. And Maria, we also appreciate your contribution. So for the sake of time, we're just going to try and move on quickly to the Q&A section. We apologize for overlapping the 1 hour. We just want to try and address some of your questions in the Q&A section, and then we will wrap up the webinar. So, Maria, you seem to be quite popular amongst the participants. A lot of them have enjoyed your presentation, and we have a few questions here pertaining to what you did present. So, Guillermo Rua has asked a question. Thank you for your question, Guillermo. And he says, Maria, on average, do you know how long it takes to get the ASC, Aquaculture Stewardship Council certification? Also, does having the IFS certification help, or would we be starting from scratch? Maria, can you please
Okay.
go ahead?
Yes, I can. First, the all certification as a robust system. So sometimes it's 1 month to planning, finding auditors, and to organizing audit. It lasts from beginning from the first, contact, then to have the auditor on your side. Regarding this type of certification, AST farming, sea farming standards, it's not only food safety standard. This standard is more complex, includes environment responsibility, social responsibility, and fish welfare. Those part of standards are not included in normal food safety standards like IFS, GFSI standards. So those requirements are additional requirements, and basically are related to regulatory requirements. So what is your impact to environment? What is your impact on the social status and the fish welfare? So this is a complex standard, depends on development of your organization. It can last 3 months, 6 months to implement all the requirements to be able to be certified.
Okay, thank you so much, Maria. I really appreciate your answer. And then we also have a question here from Ayman Medri. Thank you for the question, Ayman. The question is, what food certification is accepted in China for food processing and catering? Emad, would you like to tackle this one for us, please?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ayman. We here in Tridge in Egypt, we export many products to China, manufacturing or fruit and vegetable and the frozen product. From our experience, the most certificate needed for is FS FSSC 22000, BRC, and manufacturing company to want to export to.
Okay, thank you so much, Emad. And thank you so much for all of you for bearing with us. We've just, Emad, do you want to add more? Sorry. Oh,
No,
okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine. Okay.
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Emad. And thank you for everyone for bearing with us. We've just gone above our time slightly. We appreciate all of you for joining us today. Maria, thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. Really appreciate it. And for everyone who's joined us, you will be sent the webinar presentation along with the one that Maria shared as well. And we've also shared the contact details for all the presenters in our chat section. So if you want to contact anyone or if you have any more questions, feel free to do so. So just finally, we do have newsletter banner ads. We do have a newsletter we send to our subscribers. We have over 230,000 subscribers. So this is a service that you can utilize as well. We also have a market brief service that we've recently introduced, which is basically a global agri-food market insight services service that utilizes our agri data along with AI technology to provide useful insights. So thank you again for joining us today and participating in our webinar. We really appreciate everyone who has taken part, and we appreciate everyone who has joined. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Emad. Thank you, Maria. And thank you, Boyan. And we look forward to seeing you next month on our next webinar. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.